Hello, I am Minecraft Phenom08, and this is episode 78 of my series in which I will try to collect a billion iron ingots. In today's episode, I am going to be constructing a tower to house the biggest extreme reactor I think I have ever built. So the first thing what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of this building right here. And that means the first thing we need to do is get rid of this automation right here. So let's do that real fast. And this shouldn't be too difficult to do. There's not a whole lot to this, to be honest. And we can bada bang, bada boom. And that should be alright. Now what I'm going to do is I can go ahead and bulldoze this off camera real fast. It shouldn't take me too long because of this here pickaxe. I am going to get rid of this building and I will be right back after that. Now I have the little wither spawning building destroyed. One thing I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to make a bunch of cryothium dust, and I mean a bunch. So let's go ahead, go in here and type in something like, let's try 500,000. I'm really unsure of how much I actually need, but that should be a good starting off point. Like I said, I'm gonna build a really big reactor, and it's gonna be really big. So another thing we need to do is we need to set up a little automation, and looks like this is finished. This is a little graphite importation system I built. But let's see here. I'm going to need to melt the cryothium dust that I'm making down into gelid cryothium. And you do that by using a magma crucible. So we need a magma crucible, if I can spell it right. Like I said, if I can spell it right. We don't need this. We might need... Oh, that's because I'm on the wrong thing. Whoops. And then we're going to need an export bus. And let's grab some more covered cable and some flux duct as well. And then we're going to need a tank. And we need an infinite tank. Well, it's not an infinite tank. It might as well be, though. So let's go ahead and set this up. Let's say right... Let's do something like right here. It can be in from either side and down to the... or out to the bottom. Can do export bus of cryothium dust with all the acceleration cards, obviously. Just a little flux duct right there. And then connect this up. So now we should be getting cryothium, gelid cryothium, and it will be automatically put into this tank right here. So that's cool. We're going to need a lot of that. Okay. Whoops. The next thing I need to do is I need to dig a basement right here and get the base of a building started. The building is going to be made of emerald blocks and glass, and it will have the same footprint as pretty much all of my tall towers. So I can go ahead and do that off camera because that's going to take a little bit of time, and I'm going to be right back after I have that done. Now we have the base of our building built. Let's take a look at exactly how this plays out. So I obviously use this draconic pickaxe to clear this out, and that's what all these particle effects are. They're actually items that I'm picking up. But anyways, I couldn't remove these black hole units that were in the hallway outside. But that's completely okay. I'm not too worried about that. Shouldn't be down here very much. But the reactor will be... the bottom of it will actually be in the floor here, and I'm actually going to have to bulldoze most of the floor that I built there. And it will be as tall as these towers right here. As in the top layer will be even with the roof. So let's kind of get started here. And let's see, how big exactly do I want this? Let me do some quick math here. So I'd like to have something like 3 on the outside, just for a little bit of efficiency. Obviously, a reactor of this size is not going to be super efficient, but that's completely okay. So this should be 3, 5. Okay, that's. I have this set at 5 by 5 right now, so I'm trying to not destroy too much. This thing is extremely. Yeah, I just messed that one up. Oh well. This thing is extremely quick, so you have to be super careful with this, especially when you're around things that you do not want to destroy or cannot destroy. So that would be 0 right here. Fly, man, fly. 0. Let's be a little bit smarter there. There we go. Okay. Now that we have all that cleared out, let's build the base of our reactor here. So obviously we're going to need a bunch of reactor stuff. I shouldn't have got rid of my elevators. Oh well. That's fine. Reactor stuff. So obviously we are going to need... I've built a bunch of this, but I'm still... okay, I'm not in the process of building more. Anyways, I have 1,000 of this stuff. What we're going to do real fast is we're just going to build across like so. The next thing we need to figure out is exactly how we're going to have our fuel rods set up. And I guess to help us mark things out, I'm going to build the corners up just a touch. And then I'm going to get the controller, which is right here, and I'm going to put it in the middle right here. And then let's grab some fuel rods and start to map this out. I would like to have 3 outside of the fuel rods, so like my max size would be something like this is kind of the area that I can put fuel rods. This isn't necessarily how I'm actually going to have them aligned. I think there are really several ways we could do this. And I really don't know what the best way would be. We could do it something like that. It's actually pretty difficult. I honestly, I should do some more playtesting before I actually build this, but it's not a super big deal. I'm not really worried about efficiency, and I would like to have a very large amount of output, but if I build anything with a decent amount of fuel rods, I should have very large output, but let's see. Because we're going to be using gelid cryothium, which is a very good moderator. If you know much about extreme reactors, essentially the coolants have 4 different traits, and moderation is one of them. Moderation essentially ups the amount of power you can get and lowers fuel consumption. So moderation is pretty good. For example, let's just fly over here to my other reactor. The reactor that I actually have running right now. Its radioactivity is actually pretty high because liquid ender is a pretty good moderator, but gelid cryothium is kind of on another level. So I could do like 3 lines here. And I kind of think that's what I might do. Yeah, let's do that. And so what we're going to need is we're just gonna need to grab all of these and build up. And not like that. We need this mode. So I'm gonna build these up to the top real fast, and then I'm going to be right back. Now that we have the fuel rods built, let's put the caps on them, which should be the now I forget what they're called. The control rods, I think. And I have a bunch of those made up as well, so let's go ahead and throw these on. And that is cool. Now I need to get a few things here. So now that I have the control rods placed down, I can plot out where exactly I want the access ports and the energy ports. And I think I'm gonna want... Nah, we can just use one because we have infinite throughput here. So let's put our access ports something like right. Let's do right here and right here. And let's make this one the output. And then let's make our output, our energy output, let's put it over here. So that should be cool. For our IO here, let's fly up, and we do have access right here. So let's grab a couple buses, an export bus and an import bus with all the cards, obviously. And some covered cable. I'm not sure how much of that I need. And we need some uranium ingots. Now, obviously, if you take a look right here, we have 8.8 million uranium ingots. And that's kind of why I'm not really worried about efficiency. So, our input, uranium, all of the cards. Same thing here, all of the cards. Can get rid of that. And now we can just slide this across. So that's cool. We're not gonna hook this up for right now because I have a plan. I'm not gonna hook it up directly to my energy system. I'm actually gonna build an orb. But right now, let's grab a bunch of glass. Reactor glass, that is. And I am fairly certain that this is not gonna be enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell this thing to make like 5,000 more of it, and then because that uses the reactor blocks, I'm going to tell it to make 2,000 more of that. And that should be cool. I'm pretty sure that should be enough. So what we're going to do real fast is we're going to go around with the reactor glass, and then we're going to build up. Okay, now we need the mode that will go all the way around, like so. Now we just need to build this guy up. So I'm just going to build this up to level 111, which is almost the top there, and then I'm going to be right back. And now we have all the reactor glass placed. We need to place all the corner blocks, which would be the regular reactor casing. So let's grab a bunch of that, and all I need to do is just go up. And I fly entirely too fast to make this worthwhile. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place these off camera because it's just the same thing 4 times. And then I'm going to be back after we have all of the corners built up. Okay, now all the corners are complete. What we have to do is finish the top with reactor casing just all the way across, like so. And let's not fall off the edge. Thank goodness I can fly, because I believe I can fly. And this won't take but a second. Oh my goodness. I'm having such a difficult time right now, and I don't know why. Okay, now let's throw a bunch of glass across the top here, and let's see if this thing actually builds out, as in completes its structure. I'm not sure if it will or not. And if it doesn't, we'll have to figure out why. But I think I have everything I need right now. Whoops. Not so good at the placing blocks thing right now. So let's grab our trusty builder's wand one more time here. Let's make sure not to screw this up, because I really should not have it in this mode, but I'm too lazy to change it right now. Okay, so I gotta figure out Y direction. Wait, do I have this one too tall? Because Y would be up. Yes. I'm pretty sure that if I shrink this by 1, and what we're going to do is we're going to do that. What I'm going to do is get rid of the floor here. And move this up 1. Oh, shoot. So what happens when you don't map things out right? Now we need to go up 1 with these guys as well. Yeah, that should work. Okay, let's try this again real fast. And we can use our builder's wand right here. And there are a few things that we need to do. We don't have a controller, so let's go ahead and place that back in. Did I not pick up my controller? I don't think I did. Oh well, we can build a new one. It's really not a big deal. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I wasn't sure if that would work or not. So essentially, the reactor I built over there was, by perfect accident, the exact tallest you can make it by default. Now I could have edited the configs. I'm pretty sure Extreme Reactors has editable configs to where I could have expanded the size of the reactor, but I really didn't want to. So this will work just perfectly fine. Oh, there's my controller that I needed 3 seconds ago. But anyways, so let's get rid of a bunch of this crap for right now, and let's put these guys back where they belong. And this guy can be output again. And then over here we can have the redstone port. Now obviously we need to change these guys up real fast. Gonna need one more covered cable. uranium, acceleration cards, and import bus. Okay, so that's everything for right now. For shits and giggles, I could totally maybe turn this thing on. Except it seems like we're lagging really hard right now. Let me try this. Okay, it doesn't want to let me access it right now. And I cannot aim. Because that's not in the middle. How did I do that? Like, the torch is right there, telling me exactly where the middle is. It's gonna bug me, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back after I move this over one. And here we are with the reactor. What was going on is there was a block that was not showing up as deleted down here. And so the reactor was still recognizing that block, and it would not form because that block was interfering with that. But as we see, the reactor is filling with fuel, and like I said, for shits and giggles, I could turn this on without any moderating fluid, but that would probably be a terrible idea. It would get really hot and not produce any energy. Not to mention it's not even hooked up to my power grid right now. So what we're going to do is we need to build a few things from the mod RF tools to fill that reactor. Now, if you know anything about gelid cryothium, it does not flow like a normal liquid would. If you would put a bucket of water up at the top, it would flow all the way down, and that source block would remain at the top there. However, with gelid cryothium, the source block would actually sink like gravel down to the bottom. So essentially, we need to actually have buckets for every single empty air block in that reactor. So we need a tool to help us out with that. So let's go to the mod RF tools, and there is something that we need. We need a shape card placing liquids. That's the first thing we need. And it's actually been a while since I have messed with this mod, so hopefully I can figure this out without too much difficulty. Let's get rid of most of this stone. I don't think I need it. And let's get us a regular plain Jane shape card. Pump. Is there not actually a recipe for this? I'm gonna be upset if there's not actually a recipe for this, because I really need this to complete my reactor. Otherwise, this will not work very well. I don't want it to collect. I want it to place. Okay, I'm going to come back. I'm going to do a little research and see if there's any way I can make this, or what's going on with this block or this shape card. So I'm going to be back in a couple minutes. Unfortunately, I cannot find a whole lot of documentation on the placing liquids card, but what I'm going to try to do is make a pump shape card and then a clearing pump shape card, actually. Okay, so I need to build the pump first. So let's go ahead and do that. Actually, I need two of these. Oh my goodness. It's gonna drive me insane. So let's grab these two, and then we'll make one of them into a clearing pump. That should be easy. Now we need to make a builder. So let's find the builder here. Builder. So let's go ahead and throw this in here and grab our builder. Now we're going to need a bunch of power. I believe in you, Mr. Builder. So let's grab an energy cell. Preferably one that's pretty full. I didn't mean to do that. And then we will also need fluid duct, I think maybe. So let's grab one of these guys along with a servo. Let's grab an empty tank here. And that's because I want to replace the tank. Now I don't even know where I set this up. I want to replace this tank right here because we're going to be using some of this right now. Maybe, anyways. So let's go ahead and I don't know that this needs to be anywhere specific. Let's put it right here. Sneak right click on a builder. Now select the second corner. Shoot. I don't think this is gonna work. Solid, hollow, solid. Shush. We want a box. Sure. And let's grab us a lever. Wait, what? I didn't say dome. I just want a box. Okay, so that's not helping me. I don't know that there is a way to make this. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can't find anything at all, and then I'm gonna be right back to see if there is anything to do for this. Okay, so there's something a little bit easier that might just work. It's called a fluid placer from Actually Additions. And so let's get the recipe here. It's an auto placer with empty buckets. That seems pretty easy. And we even have everything already. So let's go ahead and throw this recipe in my automation. I'm actually almost out of spots, so we will need to fix that at some point. But for right now, I think what we can do is, and I'm not sure if I can place this upside down or not. I think, let's see. Okay, I think that'll work. Let me grab this here, give it some fluid. And it should start placing. I'm not sure how effective this will be at filling the reactor, but it should at least be a start. You know what? I have an idea. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go off camera real fast, and I'm going to get stuff for my idea, and then I'm going to come back. And here we are. I have 30 more of these fluid placers, and I ran into the problem I kind of thought I would have, in that it will only place fluids down. So it has a column of fluid placed, but I need more than that, so we're going to need a lot of fluid placers to get this working. So let's go ahead and start setting these guys up. And the easiest way to do this is just set them up one row at a time and continually move them as I need. Unfortunately, this is going to be kind of a long process, and I'm not going to be able to finish this episode, but that's okay. Yeah. Can't have everything. So I'm just going to need a bunch of fluid duct here. And like I said, I can continually move these across until the whole reactor is filled up. And then we will be able to put the top on and see exactly how awesome or how wasteful this reactor actually is. I think it'll be awesome, even if it's not super efficient. So I'm gonna let this go, and I'm gonna fill this reactor up between episodes, and then next episode we can see exactly how powerful or how crappy that reactor is. So in today's episode, I managed to build that reactor. It was functional before I ripped off the top, but I want to fill it with gelid cryothium to make it better. Much better than having air in the inside. Air is a terrible material to leave in a reactor, at least in most spots of the reactor. It all depends on placement, if you're familiar with Extreme Reactors. But anyways, that'll give me a bunch more power once I actually get that complete. But for right now, I'm not going to be able to complete it in a reasonable amount of time. As of right now, I have 273 million iron ingots, which is pretty awesome. We're still somewhere around 10 million per day. Hopefully, when I get the reactor up and running, I will be able to build some more tier 6 versions of the void ore miner, and then we'll get a little bit more iron on top of what we already are getting. So that'll be awesome. But for right now, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and I will see you next time.